Greetings, hello! Hey, what's going on? I'm ImperialJedi. This is my city I entered for the Global Build-Off, the Harbor Edition, and I thought I'd just do a little fun tour of it. We only had 2 minutes for our video to submit, so you can show a lot, but not a lot. And I thought we'd kind of go into a little bit more depth here. And I thought I'd start with the Railyard. It's actually a lot of fun to build. And what's really crazy is it's pretty much functional. You can kind of see this train's taking like a whole different route. This guy's gonna take a different route to come back. It's actually pretty wild. I'm gonna show you guys like out of cinematic view the city a couple times, right? So I can show you how some of the stuff was done, but you can't judge me. There's a lot of parts about the city that were just done for like display purposes only. But this was really cool. This was so much fun to set up. Very, very fun challenge. We have some static trains. Use the prop line tools and props, of course, for that. And I'm using the traffic president mod actually to change the speed limits on the tracks to make these tracks here, like the route it took, seem like the more attractive route for the AI. So I've incredibly slowed down the trains just in general, so they're not like, you know, blazing on through here. But I slowed down even more some of the tracks I want to be like dead tracks. So you can kind of see as a result, right? And so it's gonna be a little bit laggy just because of all the props and stuff, right? But these guys are gonna come through this way. This one's gonna go around. Yeah, so if you're coming from this direction, you take the far track. If you're coming from this way, you take the inside track. These both link up down there. And then when you're coming in, you're gonna like enter and then you're gonna bypass all of this and take the outside track into the actual, you know, yard itself, right? And then I initially had a ground level crossing and it just was such a nightmare for traffic. I really had the urge to keep this. We put a couple bridges in and like just in general, the city, it's supposed to kind of feel like it could be any date, you know, it could be modern, but the look and the style, I really want it to be kind of like that retro 1950s Art Deco, kind of like, you know, like the turn of the war, like everything's booming, cities are expanding, we're doing like oversized, ridiculous landmarks, right? Like, you know, we're just starting to put skyscrapers in. Look at the size of this ballpark, right? Just really cool, fun stuff. And like our downtown stuff hasn't really matured yet, you know, so there's a lot of just like optimal space here for like just future development, but right now it's just parking lots and big old converted factories, right? So I feel like, you know, these kind of cities, when they start, right, they maybe would be a lot more harbor and industry. And then, you know, in our case, the war is over. It's the 1950s, 1960s. There's just no need for the same amount of production, right? So we've scaled back part of it. We've taken over some of the waterfront here. Like maybe this was the old port, right? And then the ballpark went in to kind of occupy some space. Oh, just missed a fire. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm using the Art Deco content creator pack. A lot of stuff from the workshop, of course. Just anything that kind of feels old-timey. And we've got some cool state buildings here. You know, we've got like landmarks and stuff, right? It's supposed to be like an old colonial fort. So I thought all of that would kind of like tie into like the age of the city in air quotes. And then just, yeah, like in the age of like really cool, oversized infrastructure public works projects, right? We have like the St. Louis Arch right over here for our main highway going in downtown. And the global build-off, I thought I'd throw like a, you know, globe in here. And of course, roundabouts, the superior intersection. And I wanted the city to feel like, you know, kind of futuristic and like our homage to like kind of, yeah, paying global tribute here is having a roundabout. Might not necessarily be an American thing, right? But we put it in. Got it to work. Massive, massive, like, you know, bus station here. Got our Greyhound coach buses coming through. And I used some of the, I'm just gonna pause it for a split second here. I used some of the GMC fishbowl buses. You see here from the 1960s. Nice little classic throwback. Just older assets, older cars. I've kind of sprinkled those in throughout as well. Definitely some modern stuff, so it's kind of like, you know, you're like, what year is this, right? But man, the game runs so much better when it's paused. And then, you know, in terms of detailing, right, I actually didn't do all that much. For me personally, I did a lot of detailing. I'm kind of trying to like break into that. And like, this is the kind of stuff I did like detailing wise, right? You see a lot of these props, a lot of these trucks, and they're all kind of like vintagey, right? Like 1950s, 1960s, 1970s trucks, you know, that old timey feel to them. And then when I saw everyone else's cities that they had entered, right, it was just a lot more detailing. So I kind of feel like I missed the boat a little bit in that, no pun intended. But I'm just starting to break through and starting to do more detailing. So if I were to show you guys kind of like how this all looks. So it's actually not too bad. A lot of stuff is functional here. If I pull up our props that you can kind of see, right? So it's a fair amount. It's nothing too crazy, but for me, it's starting to do some good detailing. And it's just, you know, putting some stuff down, getting the anarchies on, moving them all together. And then I would hide some roads through here so we still get some function. So it looks like trucks maybe want to drive around the property, that kind of stuff, right? That's what I mean about the trains. Look how cool this is. And they're vintage trains too. Some of our yard trains you can see are pretty old designs, and some of the old tankers as well. There's a GG1 right here. Very nice engine. And I have a couple functional GG1 trains too. So there's some static ones hanging out here. And then something else I really like doing was the passenger trains also have a very vintage feel. Thought this was a wonderful station. Actually, if you look at the station from a distance, I thought that made a grandiose appearance here on the hill. Lovely factory space here. And what's cool is we're offering like priority to cars and the rails in some parts, and then we're doing level crossings, just so we can kind of see the interaction with all that too. And we've got some timed traffic lights. It was pretty much like when I started making the city, right? We actually downloaded a map Mr. Miyagi made us, and it was just kind of a little starter American city. And we originally had the airport over here, and then we could do whatever we wanted. And changing some of the design and stuff, right, meant like fundamental shifts to the traffic. So holy heck, man, I think I spent like 2 or 3 hours just putting in custom traffic lights, changed around some of the lanes. And I don't even think it's perfect, you know, it's at a point where it's pretty much functional, but my, oh my, this was a challenge. And if we look at the, you know, the lanes and that kind of stuff, right, like, whew, that was a mess. Definitely a lot of fun, though. Yeah, Mr. Miyagi, very talented guy when it comes to making the maps. So you actually download the map, just the blank one, the one we all started with. I guess I'll upload this. I don't see why not. You'll have to download and subscribe to like everything that I'm running, which you can do through the save file itself. So just download the save file. Don't worry about anything else. Go into your content manager, and that's where you turn on and off like the mods and assets. Click over on the tab that says Save Games, and then on that save game file, you'll have 2 options. You can turn on or off all the assets and mods that are with that save file, or you can subscribe to them. If you're in game and you do that, you might maybe crash the game. Steam will still know what you're up to, so even if the game crashes, it will still try to download everything. So it's probably better off when you're not running the game. But then when you do boot the game up next, you can just turn on and off all the files for that individual save file, which is kind of like the modern way to like save your games and pass them along. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I can show you here. So I wanted to kind of divvy this all up, right? The idea was like we've got some mining and some wood, you know, forestry, lumber, like raw organics over here. And we're just kind of coming in by boat. We got a little static prop over here, make it seem like we're kind of, you know, anchoring offshore. And like, you know, on the hillside here, some of these Art Deco styled water towers. For function, to get some vehicles going through here, I do have one of the fishing factory buildings. So we'll see some trucks come in. Not all the harbors are working. I wanted them to be kind of there, but not overwhelming us with boats. Yeah, these are definitely working, though. And yeah, the trains are supposed to come through here. It's supposed to be like your oil, fuel, pickup, drop-off. We might maybe drop off some lumber and stuff here, but the thought is we do lumber by truck, maybe drop it off at a different point. And this might be just some simple manufacturing and yardage. You know, I wanted to get some shunting, but it was just, I running out of space here. I wanted to put in like mini cargo stations and hopefully have little trains run between them, but that just ended up being a lot of work. And so some of these, yeah, they don't work, just static. And then trains can go through this, but I changed the speed limit so that they actually took this one, built a bypass. And when I say change the speed limit, I was just basically using speed limit controls through Traffic President. So if we look in the yard itself, you can see how the speed controls are changed through here. So that one was a 20 to stop trains from going on it. This one stayed as 40 to encourage trains. That one became a 10, so no trains. And that's just the AI trying to pick and choose like the best possible route, and you just change the speed limits to kind of encourage them to pick the route you want. So that worked out well. Quite the fun challenge. And again, you know, the city was supposed to look good like in cinematic view, right? It doesn't really matter if it's super functional. I just didn't want to have like massive traffic jams and stuff, right? Which I don't think we do. Like this a lot. And then one of my favorite areas, I didn't even showcase in the build, was this little spot here. Custom parking lot, little walkway. Kind of, you know, small town America, right? Maybe high school football is kind of the thing to do. It's Thursday night. Let's go watch little brother Jeremy or something. You know, play ball, right? Why not? Get the whole town in. Nice little view of the lake here. Maybe do some fishing. And then, yeah, just a train station with a little bit of a yard here. And it's supposed to be like our Art Deco vintage trains. So more of these GG ones. Just beautiful. Walmart's, you know, nice and new, right? Somebody throw you off, you're like, what year is this actually? I thought it was a nice building though. More manufacturing. And then this kind of stuff, funny enough, I actually detailed in here, I think, the most. You didn't even see it, right? I just didn't even show this off too much. We weren't really getting judged on the city behind us. It was more like I wanted the city to kind of be there to be functional. So So yeah, manufacturing happens in here. You know, we bring stuff down into the yard. It gets shipped out. We're trying to ship it accordingly to product, right? So goods might move into here, generics, you know, production, oil, refinery, that kind of stuff in here. And then, yeah, more raw resources over there. And then fishing kind of sprinkled throughout. And I thought, you know, from the city's transition, right, we kind of scaled a little bit from industry almost right away into to living space here. So you see some conversion happening. And all of a sudden we're downtown. And then downtown too, like I was looking at a lot of like 1950s, 1960s cities in North America. There's parking lots everywhere. I was blown away by that. And these massive just leftover buildings that haven't really been converted yet. And we're hopefully still finding some of those like turn of the century, you know, the 1900s architecture. Definitely a lot of fun. And then of course, American pastime. Good old fashioned baseball with a beautiful clock tower I thought out front too. Yeah, that's kind of it for the main city. A few little suburbs. The only thing I really did change a lot was just our airport. It used to be downtown, but I relocated it to here. And I want it to be like a smaller feeling airport. So we've got the cargo, just for the larger planes in air quotes, but not like supersized. And then we're just doing the aviation club here, so smaller personal planes. And little hotel. I put our disaster relief center here. It's kind of like a government building, research facility. Maybe the CIA are set up over here, you know. Yeah, just kind of a fun thing. You know, you have business trips or whatever, like, you know, quick little airport turnaround. I think we have a fun little station here. Just bring you into the city. That's kind of it. Then we got a little fishing town here. A little suburb to the city, if you want to call it even. And then there's the region itself, right? Yeah, I think, you know, from up above, it really looks convincing. I was very happy with the Railyard, especially. When I did my cinematics, I had, like, the props and stuff turned on, so you could see everything from, like, everywhere. Right now, for the sake of the frame rate, I have that stuff turned a bit down, but... Yeah, I'm really happy with this. So, yeah, if you want to download it yourself, feel free. Not a lot is working. It's not completely broken, so if you wanted to actually fix it, make it profitable, I don't think it's impossible. Really just needs a higher population. And, yeah, maybe you want to just explore. See what you see. But this definitely is a fun city to mess around in. And if you have a decent enough computer, you can definitely add to this. Feel free to scale back on some of the mods and assets, you know. Let's go watch this a little bit more. For me, honestly, I could watch the trains for days and days and days. And if I had more time, I think I would add like another little route of cargo through here. Definitely a lot of fun. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate you checking this out. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll be able to do more of these in the future. Onwards and upwards. Anyway, drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. I'll be happy to try and track down some assets, mods, talk about, you know, how this and that was done. And yeah, just drop me a comment. Let me know. Otherwise, happy building. Appreciate you checking it out. I'll see you guys again. Have a great day.